Hey, this is Michael from Tranquillity and the Halo Effect and Cemetery Skyline and Grand Cadaver, and you're watching Chaoszine.
Hi there, you're watching Chaoszine and we are in John Smith Rock Frozen in Jyväskylä, Finland. A long time no see, but we have a very nice guest today here. Hi, Mikael Stanne.
Hello.
Hello. You just had a signing session in here.
Yep.
There was a lot of people.
It was very nice. It was good to see some old friends and a lot of new faces as well. It was super nice.
Yeah, you're doing a couple of shows in Finland, right?
Yeah, two. So it's two festivals, one tomorrow as well in Joensuu.
Yeah.
So and we just came from Japan and Turkey and Bulgaria. So it's like a shorter tour, like just a week, but it's been awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of touring behind, and now you're
that too.
Off to a little holiday.
Yeah.
The thing is, meet the artist.
Okay.
And so we're talking about you, about being an artist and stuff, and looking back to what you've been doing. Let's go to the beginning. What is the first band you remember being a fan of?
Oh, I think I started, listening to my parents' records first, and then I really got into ABBA and stuff like that, just because that was available. But I think the first kind of band that I got into that I really kind of this is something different than, because it was all Twisted Sister and Wasp and that kind of stuff in the 80s. Mm-hmm. But I think the first one when I heard Walls of Jericho by Halloween, or Judas, the EP that came out before. I thought that was the coolest thing, and that really opened my eyes to something else than what was on the radio and what was on TV. Even though there was only 3 rock videos a week or stuff like that. But but that was I think that was really a turning point for me. It's this is something super fast. It's intense. It has kind of these melodies that I love, and just that was the first kind of wow moment where music that no one else seemed to be listening to into my life. And
Do you consider yourself still as a fan of some bands?
No, of course. Definitely. I mean, how can you not be? The music scene is pretty damn cool. There are some insanely fantastic bands, and some bands, of course, I've followed since I was a kid, and but I find new bands all the time. So I love it. I wish I had more time. I get a lot of texts every week from friends at home. It's hey, are you going? No, I'm on the other side of the planet. Nah, I can't do it. So, but I love when I have time and when I can go see bands that I love, and sometimes at festivals and sometimes just go on a road trip or take a concert trip or a festival trip. I love that.
So you do go to other bands concerts. Okay. Well, what are the new bands that you have found recently?
Metal-wise, I haven't heard that much. I listen to everything that comes out. I think not super new, but there's a Swedish band called Vulkan. And I just found the vinyl record a couple months ago, and I miss it because I want to listen to it more. But it's just one of those. I saw they were going out touring, doing some shows, and I was oh man, I wish I could see that. But of course, that's early next year. But it's one of the it's not a new band by any stretch, but it's the one I listen to the most.
Okay. Do you take influence from other bands or musicians or singers? Because we know you do a lot of different bands yourself, and you get to do a lot. Is it you have so much of your own style these days? Do you still take any influence, or is it so strong?
I think more than anything, you feel inspired. You listen to something that it feels new or cool or fresh, and you go I want to do something new. It inspires me to write. Of course, there are a lot of singers, of course, that influenced me to kind of sing the way that I sing, and I want to sound like that. I want to sound like that. Of course, that's always been the case. And when you hear someone pull something off, or where something comes through, or it makes you feel something, or it makes you, pay attention, because it's kind of rare these days. There's so much stuff out there, and when something really catches you, that it's both inspiring and something that you kind of take to heart and go okay, now I'll to up my game. So yeah, of course I always listen.
Okay. What was it in the first place that got you yourself into music industry?
When I got into kind of metal and more kind of extreme metal and thrash and death metal, it was through my friend Toppa Lindberg, who later formed At the Gates, and it was his first band called Grotesque, and they played black metal verse thing. And it was right where I lived, and we were kind of neighbors. And a friend of mine who lived on the same street as he was going to audition for Grotesque. So I followed him, and this was in 87. Yeah. So I was 13, 14.
Yeah.
And I came with him, and he was really nervous because he was auditioning with some older guys, like 2 years older or something, I think, 3 years older. And I got to see them rehearse, like in a basement rehearsal room full of posters and all that stuff, and played super loud, and it was inverted crosses everywhere and pentagrams and all that stuff. And it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I was like, this is real. Like, you can be a band. It's not just something that I see in magazines or on the back of records. It's something that is possible.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, for me, it blew my mind, and I decided, like, I want to do something like this, no matter what it is, And then a year later, I saw Creator that came to Gothenburg, and it was also this mind-blowing experience where we were like a band like that I've been listening to now for 2 years or something like that, and I loved. They come here, play in our city of Gothenburg, like, because that never really happened. No bands ever came, You had to, and for some, all of a sudden, like, things were possible, and I was like, okay. And then, like 2 weeks after that Creator concert, we bought guitars, me and Niklas, and we started a band.
Yeah.
So it's
Nice.
that's it.
Nice. So you really got the vibe and decided that's what you want to
What
do.
we wanted to do was to create music and stand in a rehearsal room and do something, write something, make noise and make sound and make songs, like whatever it was, and also like just have something to do. We were bored out of our minds because we were just sitting at home listening to music, talking about music constantly, and just we're total geeks about bands. It was fun to kind of decide, like, hey, let's do it. Now we're doing this for real, and so that's how it started. It's not about getting into the industry or touring or releasing albums. It's just like, hey, let's see what we can come up with.
Like doing this stuff.
The rest is just a bonus.
And since then, you've got to do a lot, and you are doing a lot right now, and you get to be in different kind of bands. Having so many projects, how challenging is it to manage your life and schedules and everything?
I'm very fortunate that we work with great people. Like, so our tour manager, for instance, and our kind of manager for Tranquillity is also Martin Henderson, who used to be in the band since the beginning. Everybody knows what it takes and what we can do to make it comfortable and work. So it does work. I mean, it's a lot. Sometimes it's a lot of travel. Sometimes it's a lot of festivals in a row, in a different country, a lot of flights, all that stuff. So I wish I had more time to kind of write and to also stay home and just be normal, family guy. But I decided kind of like, it was right before the pandemic where I felt like, hey, this is fun. Let's say yes to things and see what happens. Yeah. And now I have to pay for it, but it's still really challenging, really fun. I've learned so much just from working with other musicians. Because we've been the same band like for 30 years, and then you change things up a little bit, and you kind of work with other producers, other songwriters and stuff, and it really sharpens your skills.
I bet. What do you find to be the best things about doing all this?
My favorite thing probably is to kind of hang out more with old friends. That was the reason we started the Halo Effect, for instance. We really didn't get to see each other that much, and Daniel and Peter kind of like quit playing, and they were just working at home, and Niklas was just home writing, so it was kind of like, yeah, we never get to see each other. We see each other every once in a while, at a show or something like that, but it's not enough, and it's kind of like, hey, let's do something, especially during the pandemic. It was kind of like a way for us to hang out, so just seeing each other in the studio working on songs was a perfect kind of way to get through the pandemic, because everything else was kind of bleak, and that turned into like an obsession, and then okay, let's do this, So that's the biggest reason, I think, and my favorite.
Okay. And we talked about this before the interview about how challenging is it to adapt from one band to another, and you find it pretty easy.
Yeah, because it's very different musically and stylistically. It's very different. So, and lyrically, of course, it's very different. So so it's kind of easy to kind of get into that character or that role of a certain band. Grand Cadaver, for instance, it's all about horror and misery and violence and all the stuff that comes with that genre. And Cemetery Skyline has a more of a kind of romantic vibe and a sadness and a loneliness to it. So it's very different. So I can tell different kind of stories, and Halo Effect is more kind of like personal to us as a band and as friends, and DT deals with everything, and all the big things, the big ideas, the grand, like the bigger perspective on things. So it's good to change things up a little bit, kind of write something else.
Yeah, and as you're working on many albums at the same time, does it work like you decide that today we're doing this, or because you need different kind of mindset to different albums? So do you do something depending on what your mindset or feeling is, or how does that work?
We try to make sure that there's like, now let's work on this album, and then we do the next.
Yeah.
And I have to tell everybody like, this is the way it has to work, otherwise there will be no time left for anything else. So but sometimes you can, if you get stuck, we're like, oh, maybe I'll write something else. That actually is a good help sometimes to kind of get out of writer's block, which happens a lot.
Yeah. What is your relationship with touring life? You do touring a lot, and I've been talking to many artists about this, and it turns out they have different kind of feeling about this, because some have been touring for a long time, something that it's more like you just have to do it and it's exhausting and it takes all your energy, and some people get so much energy from touring and it's like more like a nice part of their life. So what's your relationship with touring life?
It really is, and I've been thinking about it this week because it's been very kind of tumultuous and intense. But the upside and the high of kind of performing and seeing the crowd and being there, like looking people in the eye and kind of connecting and doing something, that's such a incredible feeling. And just when you felt like you nailed it, or you're very proud of the performance, and like you feel like you're connecting, you feel like people know exactly what's going on, and you form some kind of bond with an audience. That's the greatest feeling in the world. So everything else is just like, it could be miserable, it can be exhausting, but it's still worth it. Some days are just long. You're waiting for it to be over or to go on stage, because that's all you want to do. And it can be exhausting because of just how intensely you feel about it. Like it becomes very euphoric sometimes on stage, and all the endorphins through your body and stuff. And then you wake up in the morning and you feel absolutely horrible.
Yes.
Like, are you a little bit hungover? But it's kind of an emotional hangover.
Yeah.
That can be really devastating sometimes, because you miss it, and then it's really hard to think that it's going to be okay again.
Yeah.
But then you get there and you start meeting people, and you go to the venue and you meet friends and you hang out, and then it's like, everything actually is going to work. So it's this roller coaster of emotions that I have a hard time thinking that you can get anywhere else. It's pretty unique to the music industry, I think. And
I guess.
Yeah, I'm tired of a lot of things, but at the same time, it's so absolutely worth it. Like when everything works, it's just the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
And it's like it's also a job where you can drink beer and you get applause when you do something right. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, like not many of us get applause when we do our job, and even if we do it good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah. How do you spend your time on tour? Do you go to see places, or is it more like hanging out with guys?
Everything. Like I try to see as much as possible. It's very easy nowadays, of course, and I love traveling around and just seeing places, going to cool record stores or bars or whatever, or seeing sites, and the older you get, the more into that kind of stuff you are. I remember the earlier tours, we didn't see anything. We just sat around in the venue, drank beer.
Yeah, yeah.
And now it's kind of like, yeah, I go for a long walk. I like to see what the city has to offer, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I like it. And we're very fortunate to have a lot of time to do that as well. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Do you get gifts from fans?
Yes.
Is there something that you remember that has been kind of special?
I thought that one of the coolest things I got recently was, I think last year or a year before, there's this guy, is a professional sculptor that does like pretty much action figures and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he had sculpted an entire me. This big, like in a big ass case that looked super, it was incredibly professionally made.
Yeah.
So cool. And I have it on my, my bookshelf at home, and it's incredible artwork and artistry behind it. You're like such a fucking cool thing. And sometimes you get voodoo dolls and just sometimes very strange things. I got a tiny little rubber duck today. Day before yesterday, someone gave me like herbal tea and these little eye patches that you wear so you don't look as tired. So obviously that was a. I probably looked very tired at the time, but so but it's super nice. I mean, it's amazing that what people like the kind of lengths people go to kind of pay back, they feel to they get from when we play or perform.
Yeah, many put effort.
Yeah, not everybody buys T-shirt and albums. They just go to concerts and then they want to do something. So I love that. It's so sweet.
Well, that's cool. What is there still that you want to achieve professionally in your career?
I mean, the ideal would be to play exactly as much as you want and not a single show more, and then have it pay a lot more. But now I think like finding the right balance and finding kind of like so that there's enough work and home life and creative work, because touring is not creative, like it's just performative. And so I miss that. I miss now like coming home. I want to get into this creative mode of writing and kind of just thinking about songs instead of thinking about or worrying about not being able to perform them every night. Kind of so as long as we can do this and still feel like we are still doing our best work after all these years, I think that's the goal. To write an album where you feel like this is as good as we can possibly be right now, and you can be incredibly proud of it. That's
not thinking of having a new band or anything like you're.
No more.
With this. Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. Sounds very good.
Yeah.
And I guess you have things to do. As you said before the interview, there's a couple of albums on the way. So.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just working on stuff now because it's been basically non-stop touring for 2.5 years. So now it's time to get back into the creative side of it, and it's going to be very interesting, challenging, fun.
Any plans for the next year, or is it just going to be a creative process?
A lot of writing for Halo Effect at least, and for DT we are doing another round of gallery character tour in South America, maybe, and then America, and then European tour with Halo Effect. Yeah. Then festivals, but then it's recording and that kind of stuff. So it's it's going to be hopefully more relaxing. But who knows? I say that all the time, and it never ends up being true.
Okay, let's hope that. And I wish you very nice holidays and Christmas time.
Hyvää joulua.
Hyvää joulua.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.